Well, hello there. A new video up, and a new camera. Well, I say camera, a new phone with a much better camera apparently. So I hope this turns out well. And if it does, and with better quality, then well, I've done good. So this is going to be a National League predictions table. Because I do love the National League. It's a very good league and it's a very interesting league with a lot of interesting teams down there. A lot of teams that maybe shouldn't be down there but are there because of certain things happening behind the scenes. I'm I analyse the best I can for each club and put them where I thought I was. I originally did this a couple of months ago in not on a video but in private, and it had Gateshead in last, but obviously that can't happen because they have now been booted out of the National League and are no longer taking part in the National League. They will be in the National League North. So I have now revamped my prediction. So on that note, let's get into it. So 24th, I have Yeovil Town, freshly relegated from the League Two, but with things going in behind the scenes, I don't know if it's going to get sorted. I haven't heard anything. It might well have been sorted, but they were absolutely dreadful last season, and I really don't think it'll get much better. They could stay up. It's a definite possibility, and I'm not counting them out just yet. But I don't think they're going to prove much of a challenge going forward. So I think they will go down. 23rd, Aldershot Town. They got lucky as Gateshead were booted down a division down to the National League North, but I don't see them doing very well. They were absolutely terrible last season for the most part, and I expect more of the same from them. Yeah. 22nd, I have Maidenhead United. Uh, they did well not to go down last season. They'll be in a dogfight. They do have a chance to stay up, but I do think it could be tougher for them this season to stay up again. However, it is certainly possible for them to stay up because they have a good enough squad to stay up, but it'll be very tough. 21st, I have Woking Town. They they did very well to get up, and yeah, they could prove a bit of a banana skin for many teams potentially in this division. But I do feel like they will be in a dogfight, but they could stay up. They could very well stay up because anything can happen in this division, and it's the most unpredictable league in the world, in my opinion. So, then 20th we have Ebbsfleet. We saw last season they did well on the pitch, but not so well behind the scenes, if that is indeed them. But I don't think it'll be as nice to them. They are behind the scenes. Things weren't going well, but on the pitch they were. I do feel they'll have to be forced to sell some players, and they'll be in a relegation dogfight. But they could stay up. They do have a chance of staying up. I'm not going to count them out. So yeah, who knows with this team? 19th, I have Chorley, a newly promoted side. Yeah, I mean they're keeping a part-time struck model, which could come back to bite them in the arse, but they did very well to go up, and I feel like they'll start the season on a high, and then they'll just like drop off towards the end, so they'll possibly start getting dragged into the relegation battle, but they'll have done just enough at the first half of the season that they won't go down. Possibly. 18th place, I have Bromley. They It's a tough one to predict for that team, but I put them there because I said it could be a tough season for them, but I don't think they'll be in too much danger. But yeah, don't really have too much to say about them. 17th, I have freshly relegated Notts County. They had an absolutely abysmal season last season. They were absolutely awful. A fair few players may have to leave, although they could convince them to stay. But they won't. They won't be in trouble of getting relegated again. But they can either be another Leyton Orient and just have an average season first season, and then just fly up the second, or possibly a Wrexham and just stay and be stuck in this division for God knows how long. So things could turn around for Notts County, but I'm not confident for them in terms of next season. 16th, I have Barnet. They used to be very quality in this league, but they have certainly dropped off in terms of National League quality since they last were in here before they got relegated down to here. They're not as good as they used to be in this league, and yeah, 16th for them, probably about right. 15th, I have Sutton. They were good a couple of seasons ago, especially when they ended up facing Arsenal in the Cup, which is massive for them. But I don't think it'll be as good for them. But I don't think they will be in any danger of going down. Boreham Wood, they did reach playoffs at some point a couple of seasons ago. They had a tough season last season, finishing just above the relegation zone, although albeit by a fair few points. But they certainly have the quality to do better than they did last season. But I don't think they'll challenge for going up, but I don't think they'll go down. I certainly don't think they'll go down. 13th, I have Dagenham and Redbridge. Last season they were dreadful in most part of the seasons, and then other parts they showed that they have the quality. So they've been a bit inconsistent with the way they've been playing in the National League last season. The coming season, I do think they can improve, but not by much. I think it'll be a fairly average season, and they won't be in too much trouble in terms of getting relegated. I don't think they'll go down. I don't think they'll go up either. I think they'll just be mid-table mediocrity. They don't have enough quality all around the pitch to go up, but they do have enough strength to stay up. 12th, I have Hartlepool United, Jeff Stelling's team. Apparently, well, it is. I don't think they'll be doing anything special, but I don't think they'll be in too much danger. So they'll be just about average again, like Dagenham and Redbridge. Right, and then so the next one, in the 11th, I have Halifax Town. When I went to Halifax, they did look pretty decent for a team in all around the pitch. They had a good midfield, they have a solid defence, they have a fairly good goalkeeper who I actually gave man of the match to. But going forward, they don't have enough. They don't have a prolific striker to bag 20 a season. It's that prolific striker is the one thing they miss, because they have everything else they need but that striker. And if they can get that striker, they can challenge for promotion places. But without that striker, they will just miss out. So literally all Halifax need is a striker that will get at least 20 goals in this league for them to have a chance of going up. And so yeah. So 10th, I have Stockport County. They're a good side, did well to go up, and yeah, they have unbelievable support, which is pretty good. But I do feel like they'll maybe slide away from the playoffs, possibly. But survival will be definitely their aim, and I do think they'll easily survive. They'll challenge for the top 7, but could slip out. So 9th, I have Harrogate Town. They were good last season. They should definitely be going for top 7. They could make it. They could miss out. Who knows? They'll definitely be fighting for it. 8th, I have Eastleigh. They were good in that game in terms of defensive structure in their squad. When I saw them against Wrexham, they played very well in that game, and they could reach top 7 again, but 8th around there seems fair. They'll be challenging for the top 7 again, but it might be a bit tougher than last season. But it will depend if they can keep the playing squad together, build on that squad. Because if they lose some of their players, it could end up coming to bite them. 7th, I have Torquay United. They won the league very convincingly in their league last season. And I feel like they'll definitely keep the team together that they've currently got right now. They'll add to it, make it stronger, and I can see them challenging for the playoffs. Getting top 7, I think they will. 6th place is possibly a bit of a shock. I have Dover. They had a shocking start to last season, and a bit of a stronger end to it than they did the start. They could surprise a few, although last season they were absolutely awful for the majority of it, finishing quite low, just above the relegation zone in terms of position. But I do think they'll rectify that and do a lot better this season. 5th, I have Barrow. They had a fairly average season last season, but I do think they'll definitely do better. They'll kick on, and because the manager they've got, some of the signings they've made, they've done fairly well in terms of business, and I feel they can do quite well in this league, and they could make the top 7 and challenge. 4th, I have Solihull. They played very good football last year. They may have a slight drop off, but it won't be too dramatic. I do feel they will get top 7 again. I don't think they'll get top 3, but they'll certainly be in the playoffs again. So 3rd, I have AFC Fylde. The first 2 seasons they've had in this league, they've reached playoffs both times, unfortunately failing, and last season especially failing at the final hurdle, losing 3-0 to Salford, which is a bit crazy. In a game in the National League playoff final that was the lowest attendance in the last however many years, in just 8,000, which is ridiculous. It's awful considering recently, a few years ago, we had an attendance of like nearly 50,000 at a National League playoff match. So that is a bit bad. But Fylde are a good side, and I do believe they are destined for bigger things. They should be challenging near the top. Chesterfield, as 2nd place, I've put Chesterfield. They're a very good side. They had an absolutely dreadful start to last season, or should I say, a boring start, because they had a lot of draws. They were the draw specialists for the majority of last season, but then as we got into the second half of the season and really started to get to the end of it, they started to get really so much better. They played quality football. John Sheridan, I believe, is their manager. He's good, and he got them playing very good football, and I believe he's got enough quality to help them and to be able to challenge for that top spot. They should definitely be challenging. Anything less, I feel, is a bit... Well, if they get into that top 7, it's an improvement on last season, and I do believe that'll be their aim, to reach the playoffs. But I do think they should be challenging. And first, Wrexham. They're going to need to improve on consistency if they want to finish first. But they do have the quality all around the pitch. And the manager is a very good manager that they've got now. And I do think they're going to have a very good season again. but I do think it'll be even better. I do feel like they'll end up signing someone that will score the goals, and in terms of defensive stability, they'll do quite well at the back as well. So I do think they'll win the league, but it's going to be very, very close between them, Chesterfield and Fylde. It'll be a 3-horse race all the way to the end, and yeah, it's going to be a good National League season, and I'm very much looking forward to what it's got to give, and that'll be my National League predictions for next season. It's a tough league to predict. It's even harder than the Championship to predict, and that is the truth. It's going to be a good league next season. It's going to be even more predictable than it has been in previous years, and it's just an absolutely crazy league because literally anything can happen. I mean, I've put Aldershot in the relegation zone. They could end up winning the league. Who knows? But anyway, that's me done for this video. But hopefully, fairly soon, I can maybe think of another one to do. But for now, that'll be me, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.